AutoLine at CES is brought to you by ETAS, Gentex, Intrepid Control Systems, Magna, and by Yazaki Innovations.
John, this is Jeff Stout from Yanfeng. I'm responsible for global innovation at Yanfeng, and we're sitting in our latest show property. We refer to it as the EVI, Electric Vehicle Interior. And really this is a demonstration of what we believe the users are asking the future electric vehicles to be. We had done research with users in China and Germany and North America, specifically people who are owning BEVs today, and saying, what do you want your BEV to be that it currently doesn't have? And the number one answer from every one of those feedbacks was that they wanted their interior to be dramatically different than the interior experience of their ICE counterparts. They wanted to be able to have people see visually that this is a progressive, future-oriented vehicle that's a BEV. So we took that feedback and several other details and created an experience that really is obviously different on how you interact with the vehicle. You can see from the front of the vehicle there is no instrument panel cockpit. We are a big supplier of instrument panels, so maybe not so great for our business, but we want to know what the users are asking for, and we think this is what they're asking for. So replacing the instrument panel with a large display like you would have in your living room or den at home, all of the functions of the instrument panel that normally are there, they don't go away. You still need safety, you still need HVAC, you still need steering controls, but what we've done is moved all of those functions to this seating sled that you and I are sitting on, and that allows us to then have the ability to ride autonomously or to drive in a very traditional format. And a lot of that is centered on the center steering control arm. So you can see right now it's just a center display that allows me to control the forward display. But if I wanted to drive, it presents itself very seamlessly and asks me if I want to drive manually, and I do. And now I'm in a very traditional driving context. I have a steering wheel, which is a rectangular display shape, but it allows me to drive as if I was going to the store or doing what I would normally do today. But most of the interesting items that people want to do is when they're not driving. So if I exit the driving mode, I can redeploy, or I could keep the screen in front of me. And now we're into a lot of research that we've done with non-driving related tasks. NDRT. In that case, you could imagine some obvious ones. If I wanted to watch a movie, oh, that's pretty simple. I just say I want to view a Disney movie, and I'm going to watch Guardians of the Galaxy. And now again, you and I are going on a long trip across the states. We've got a couple hours, we can watch a movie together. Or if you don't want to watch a movie, if you want to listen to music, if you want to play a game, we could play a game of ping pong if we wanted. Any OTA update, you could just continue to create applications for non-driving related tasks. And all of this happens in this center area where the passenger and the driver can both interact with the structured controls. If I take away your controls, what comes to life then is a secondary set of controls so that the passenger still has the ability to control the radio, has the ability to control HVAC for themselves. They don't lose all of the interactions. But if I'm driving by myself, it might be in the situation where I want to go to autonomous mode still, but I keep the display in front of me. And in this case, I could say, well, hey, I want to do emails while I'm riding down the road. Well, I'm going to open Outlook. I've got a keyboard. I can type in an email to Caleb and hit send. All of these are just opportunities for what you want to do when you're inside your vehicle. And then again, I can dispose of that, and I can choose what mode I want to ride in. All of that is a completely new architecture that's enabled by, at YF, all of the different structures, all of the different technologies are all available to be developed and produced by YF to generate an interior experience like what you're sitting in.
So what about pedals? It looks like you do have some pedals down on the floor there?
Yep, and I didn't hit that. So if I go to driving mode, in autonomous mode, I don't need pedals. But if I go to driving mode, I'm going to confirm and manual drive, the pedals present themselves, and now I have pedals where I want them. If I wanted to control the position of the pedals, I can move them closer to me or further away from me. But again, what's interesting is from an efficiency standpoint, a cost standpoint, I don't need to move my seat closer or further away from the instrument panel because there is no instrument panel. So the seats are actually fixed, and I bring the pedals to the user or move it away. Not a new technology, right? Adjustable pedals have been in the industry for some time, but that's the only function that's moving towards me. Everything else that I'm sitting in is fixed, and that's okay because all of my HMI is attached to what I'm sitting in.
Okay, what about airbags?
Great question. So typically, a lot of the safety functions in the instrument panel are tied passenger airbag, driver's airbag, knee airbags, reaction surfaces. YF has spent the last several years developing a technology called the Safe Unit. It was tied to our development of a zero gravity seat where you would have all of the safety elements integrated in the seat. You would have all belts to seat, ABTS as it's called. You would have airbags that are coming in laterally, and then the possibility to have a hoodie airbag come over the top that's activated by pre-crash sensing, as well as then the crash sensor that allows you to have all of that safety activity take place in a seat-mounted solution.
Jeff, I love this thing. This is totally futuristic. So what you've essentially done is thrown out 100 years of thinking of how to do the interior of a car and started from scratch. But when might we see something like this in the car?
It's a great question. I think the biggest limitation, and it's hard for us to know the timeline of this system is 100% requiring a drive-by-wire system. There are drive-by-wire systems that are coming to the market. I think the Cybertruck has gone public with the fact that that's a drive-by-wire system. We'll start to see more and more of that, just like we saw ATC, the automatic throttle control, brake-by-wire. Steer-by-wire is inevitable, but until that's accepted, this would be difficult to execute. So we would anticipate a customer who wanted to do this, it's in the 2030 timeframe. In China, maybe a little bit earlier. They're a little more aggressive with their risk taking. Maybe 2028 you could do a vehicle like this. Maybe in North America and Europe a little bit slower, but around 2030, this is a very doable concept.
Yeah, well, thank you for showing me what the future might look like.
Thanks for your time, John.